All right. November 16th, Wednesday, November 16th. Got a long drive. I'm driving from Montclair all the way to Long Beach because of a bunch of job sites I had from Monday to today, where I just went from job site to job site. Okay, so I made a video on YouTube since I'm going up a hill. I have to drop down to second, not second, but to drop off of overdrive to regular drive. So, I love gas-powered vehicles. You gotta love them. Okay, so yeah, I made a video on YouTube, saying be ready. I was gonna make a good video about electrical circuits and the flow of current and the flow of information and energy and why that's very, very important. Now, after I did that, I went to go ahead and use the app V-Recorder, which, to be honest, had been working fine up until I did an update like 3 weeks ago or something. It started glitching little by little. If I try to make any type of mainstream presentation on V-Recorder right now, what happens is if it goes over 5 minutes, it stops the sound. So yeah, that app is done. I don't know what they did with it. That update just ruined it. When I went back to uninstall or reinstall, it's coming in with that update. So they just ruined that app. So I've been trying a couple other apps and haven't had a chance to actually make another science presentation, mainstream science presentation. And so what's going on now is that what I'm gonna do right now is just kind of like a refresher, kind of like combine everything that I've presented up until now. And up until now on this channel, I've been doing nothing. I'm gonna probably upload this in a couple other places, but on my Do You Even Science Bro YouTube science channel, I haven't been doing any personal videos or anything like that. I've been strictly presenting mainstream science. So what I'm gonna do right now is talk about what I have presented, why that's very important. Starting with since my mindset's already I'm on career mode still. So we know that electricity does not really run through electrical wires. It doesn't go. Electricity does not go through that. Energy does not go through the actual cabling. I've already shown and explained over and over that what's actually happening is around the metal, is around the electrical wiring, is where the flow is actually happening. The flow is happening around in one direction, and at the same time around the wire itself, and at the same time interacting with the electromagnetic fields outside of that actual wiring and the natural environment itself. This is why the ether concept ether theory is so very important. It's because the ether is that medium that interconnects all of that separate different type of energies that are all interacting with one another, and make telecommunications possible. And I've already explained that according to the IBEW, the sound communications journeymanship that I went through, all sound and all light are combined. They're part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, when I say sound, I'm not talking about audible noise. Okay, sound does not just include audible noise. In sound communication, sound includes the sounds that you cannot audibly detect as a human being. Okay, there's plenty of examples that of how that works. Plenty of examples of not only humans, many actually the animals are more in tune. The other animals in the animal kingdom are more in tune to all of this electrophysiology and all this this interconnectivity within the ether, within all of our space and all the energy and electrical signals that are interacting with one another. Now again, we've already explained this. A thought comes from you have a thought in your mind, and although I'm pointing at my brain, I've already explained that the mind is not necessarily located in the brain. Rather, it is from what electrophysiology has discovered so far. Okay, the mind starts from your gut all the way up, extending out from your whole middle, from the middle of your body outward. Okay. When you feel or sense heat with your fingers, those electrical signals are actually interacting outside of your carnal body boundary. That sends a signal through your body, which is actually an electromagnetic wave that runs, okay, which interacts with your mind, makes sense of that sensation, okay, then radiates back outward, okay, to let the body know how to respond to that electrical signal. When we communicate, same thing. It comes from within the mind outward, okay, into electrical cabling, wiring, and from there out, however, even if it's wireless and if it's radio, so bringing up the whole sound, okay. I'm gonna bring up the whole sound now with examples, okay. So you have dogs. Dogs can hear a dog whistle, right? You have bats. Bats use radar when in flight. You have insects. Insects use dielectric potential. That's how they're able to dodge everything right away. They're literally connected. Those little antennas they have on them are not just there for show. Those little antennas are antennas, exactly that. That's why they're able to respond, because they're in tune with the environment. They're able to actually respond to those electrical signals, right? So that's what you have right there, right? You have bats. You have sonar, which is what whales use to communicate. It's a known fact that whales can communicate hundreds of miles apart with the sound itself echoing and moving through the actual medium of the water. It's exactly like the way it moves, in a dense environment on a rainy day out here on our plane, on our actual mesoplane, all right, on our mesocosm. That's what we're on. Humans are not part of the microcosm, and we're not part of the macrocosm. We're part of the mesocosm. Okay, our universe is actually in between the micro and the macro. All right, so hold on, let me get some water. Like a lot of this, I've already spoken about and shown mainstream media backing up everything that I just said. Speaking of water, made me thirsty. Okay, so yeah. So why is this important? And what does this have to do with memes and all that? Well, first of all, memes, your human body, all right, your human mind does not think of letters and words and because there's no sound in your mind. There's no sound in your mind, and there's no light in your mind, believe it or not. You cannot see light in your mind. You cannot hear sound in your mind. All right? There is no sound. Phonetics does not work in your mind. This is really important, because that's why the Phoenicians and the ancient civilizations, we don't understand them, because they didn't speak. I mean, they didn't communicate. They didn't write down letters and words. They used imagery, images, pictures, which meant a lot. When right now, if we see the Merrill Lynch bull or the bull standing in front of a bank, it's not like, yeah, the bank likes, the bank has a bull somewhere in an office running things. It's not like the bull, puts on a suit and goes to the fucking bank every day and goes to work. All right, it's not like you're gonna walk into the bank and a bull's gonna walk up and say, "Can I help you?" Right? The bull represents a bullish market. Okay, the bear represents a bearish market. All right, the bull versus the bear. It's not like they're actually fighting each other physically. It's not like you have a bear and a bull actually fighting. But if someone in the future were to see if this type of communication that we have, our language, was to cease to exist or to be replaced by some other form of type of literature or form of communication, which is basically all art. This is all what I'm talking about is basically art. Pictures, letters, words. That's all art. Those are drawings. That's all those are. Those are drawings. And we could easily tie that those letters, those, like the letter A is tied to the bull. Okay, the letter A is literally tied to the bull. When you see the letter A, where it came from and how it turned into the current day letter A that we see right now, you'll see that it's literally the bull. Okay, so the mind does not really work with letters and words and all that. Okay, the mind translates imagery. This is why Babel is really, really evil. This is why the alphabet. Okay, how much you want to bet? Let's bet it all. Because when you're talking about how you communicate that, and when you contract with others in commerce, you're making bets. You're betting that when you buy something, you're betting that it'll last a long time, and you're betting that it'll pay itself off by what that product or service represents or does for you. Okay? So when your mind starts thinking about these, about certain concepts, letters and words can actually twist all that around. I've said this for the last 7-8 years. Okay? Do you believe in the globe? You believe you live on your toy globe? You believe you live on a seat, something you've seen on TV? Okay, use your crayons. Use your finger paint kit. Use your colored pencils. All right, draw me what you imagine. Draw me the globe that you imagine. Okay, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna realize that you're drawing shit that you've seen already. You've seen a toy. You've seen cartoons. You've seen CGI. You've seen government commercials. Because NASA and all that shit are government commercials. Those are propaganda. They're selling something to us. When they say about space technology, it's a commercial endeavor. They literally tell us that it's a commercial endeavor. All right. With space technology, they're able to implement a sustainable development agenda. Okay, that's UNESCO. All right. Those are all tied together. So when you have an indoctrination system that can literally, pun intended, can literally twist your mind, then they can do anything they want. They could literally they could make you give up your freedoms and rights while they get to punch in zeros across some digital format, and somehow they're rich. They're rich, and they're going to stay rich forever, because the humanity, the common person, the mainstream followers are too brainwashed. They are literally just, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, master, no, master. What the fuck? They're like, oh, another emergency, print out more money. Oh, another emergency, and so on and so on and so on. Oh, it's a virus now. You can't walk around. Cover your face. Okay, what you have in certain third world countries, you have a caste system. You guys can look that up. Okay, a caste. So C-A-S-T-E, caste. Okay. Caste system is when you have servants. Okay, you have servants and masters. Some servants are not allowed to show their face to their masters. All right. So right now, when you walk into a lot of government facilities here in the United States, you now have a caste system in place. The servants must cover their face. They're not allowed to show us their face no more. Okay, servants are not allowed to interact with us as much, and they're not. And because of that, the emotional connection between facial recognition, okay, is literally irrelevant now. You can't tell if someone's smiling. You can't tell if someone's laughing. You can't tell if someone's being has a smirk. Okay. So all of these things are from electrical signaling. Okay, and they're from communicating with one another. Now, I already explained the flat Earth psyop. Okay, it is a counter psyop. Okay, we got together and we started a counter psyop. All right. I already knew enough about Joseph Goebbels. Okay, I already knew a lot about how the mind works, because in sound communications, you learn about electrical signaling all the way into the human mind. It goes that deep down. Okay, the IBW teaches you all that. You do a good portion of sound communications includes human psychology and includes human communications, not just telecommunications. Now, I've already explained telecommunications is basically, okay, and literally the manipulation of human communications. Think about that. Telecommunications is the manipulation of human communications. Me and you are going to talk. Okay, now that we're using electrical signals in between me and you, there's a middleman. Okay, that is really, 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 really important for everyone to know, because that middleman can twist your mind, can twist words to convert different input different images into your mind, and twist and change your mind, confuse your mind, distract your mind, intercept your mind. Okay, social engineers are really good at what they're doing. All right, there's not a fucking coincidence that they have these big things. That the billionaires spend a lot of their money on big think tanks. All right, it's really important that you guys comprehend these thoughts, these concepts, these theories, these electrical signals. Okay, so yeah. Now here's where we're gonna get to the deep part, the deep rabbit hole part. Okay, so you have the Manchurian Candidate. All right, MK Ultra, the CIA worked hard on the technology to supposedly create Manchurian candidates. Now, this doesn't just stop right here with the CIA. Literally, we're talking about MI6 and all these other intelligence agencies. Okay, that's what they're called, intelligence, right? When they're able to centralize the concept of intelligence, then who controls intelligence? Well, obviously that agency does. So the agency controls what is and what is not intelligence, which therefore defines or actually decompartmentalizes those that are not considered intelligent. Talk about discrimination, all right? So we have the Manchurian Candidate, right? And so the MK Ultra worked on supposedly being able to manipulate humans and get them so brainwashed, so confused, and their mind intercepted that they act normal until they hear a specific keyword or specific key phrase that triggers, okay, on a program that has been implanted into the human mind of that subject. All right. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, Simon, that's a movie from the 1960s, and then they redid it in like 2007 or something like that. Denzel Washington played that movie, you know, The Manchurian Candidate. Did a great job, by the way. So, like, that's a little bit far-fetched, Simon. That's a little bit far-fetched. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys, all right? I'm going to challenge you guys. Okay? I want you to compare all the mass shooters since 2000, since the year, let's just say 2000, the year 2000. Okay? For the last 22 years, compare all these mass shooters. All right? They all have a few things in common. Primarily is that propaganda triggered them. And the word trigger is not fucking a coincidence, all right? Think about this, you guys. False flags, mass shootings, these weird, government psyops, these military operations. You know, the government has over and over and over, you know, against our consent, against our will, experimented on us with, you know, mind control, propaganda, all of that. Okay. So, you can't. So, if you look at all these mass shooters or even the mass murderers, they all say the same thing. Okay. It was literally the propaganda that got into their mind and did whatever it did to them. All right. Now you have out of all of those, you have a good fraction of those. Okay, a good fraction of those lack empathy. Okay, beyond the propaganda, and onto the psychology. The majority of those lack empathy. They're literally not wired. Okay, their minds are not wired. Okay, their brains are not wired to internally experience any empathetic concepts, any empathetic emotions, any empathetic scenarios. Okay, they can't. It's not in their mind. Okay, torturing us as a child, they're going to grab their pet and they're going to torture and kill their pet. All right, those are clear signs that that person lacks empathy as a child. Okay, now we do know that people that have been in total, you know, hold that in mind, right? And now listen to this part. There's plenty of medical records and medical stories or facts where a person loses a good portion of their head or their brain, and their brain is able to rewire itself so they could regain control of specific, you know, motor functions, right? Specific, you know, like walking, talking, you know, touching, feeling, responding, facial recognition. Okay, there's people that are literally have like part of their fucking head smashed off. All right, walking around normally. So we do know that the human mind uses its own energy to run its own cabling, basically to rewire itself. All right. So holding that, okay, holding that thought in your head that yes, the mind can make its own wires. The mind can literally, okay. So there's no excuse about a certain individual that as a child lacks empathy. All right, because although at that point in time that child lacks empathy, okay, if that child is not is not literally indoctrinated, okay, to force the mind to rewire empathy into the core memory bank of that child, he's gonna grow up to become a mass murderer. He's gonna become a serial killer. He's gonna become a sadistic person. All right. You see, a lot of people like this are able to get away with that behavior until they make it into law enforcement or security enforcement. You know what I mean? So, you know, the human mind is literally built around internal wiring, all the way around. Like, telecommunications is nothing more than communications, but now under the control of someone else, right? So I can easily tie in that there is Manchurian candidates walking around. They totally exist. Okay, according to mainstream, the Las Vegas shooter was fine. No one knew he was going to do that. His own friends and family are surprised and shocked. Okay, unlike all the other ones were like, no, he had problems since he was a child. He was a sadistic killer. I mean, was torturing animals as a child. No. Some people are totally fine and normal. Okay, and they end up snapping, and it's always because of propaganda. Okay, people don't get triggered, even if it's saying, oh no, that person snapped because of his ex-wife. Well, his ex-wife was literally the one that was used to trigger him, because she's probably the one running around behind mainstream media, mainstream propaganda. It's all around us. Even me, that I've chosen to totally detach myself from mainstream news. Okay, mainstream news and mainstream politics. Okay, I'm still subject to that propaganda, no matter what. Okay, it's a battle to be like, I don't want to hear that shit, man. Okay, there's people all around us that won't shut the hell up. I've already explained. Okay, I don't want mainstream news right now. Okay, Putin, Russia, I don't care. The Russian army, the Russian military, don't bother me. But if you walk around to certain places right now and you start talking and you start saying, you say the word Putin, Russia, Russian military, you have people clenching their fists, grinding their teeth. They start running their mouth about how evil Putin is and how bad, and how we must win a war. And tell me that's not being triggered through propaganda. I don't give a fuck about Putin. Honestly, I don't. I think he's cool. All right? So, okay, having said all of that, and having explained that the flat earth is a counter psyop, okay, what we're doing now is this. And look, all you flat smackers, you're not helping us. You're not helping. Okay, you can't. The globe heads and globe tards, specifically the globe tards, are indoctrinated. Their minds are completely brainwashed. Their core memory bank, okay, they have a core memory bank. That core memory bank, okay, has information in it already. You cannot put different information in there. That core memory bank must be purged. It must be deleted. All of that memory must be deleted before you try to put any type of new information into that mind, into that memory bank. You guys comprehend this? Until you're able to point out to someone to the point where they can't no longer deny it. The cognitive dissonance is already beyond them. Okay? The Dunning-Kruger, all of those denials, all of that's, they're beyond that already. They've come to accept that okay, the globe is not something that's real. It's imaginary. It's something we've been indoctrinated to imagine. All right? And when you do imagine it, it's what's already in propaganda. All right? When you're able to finally do that, then that person has a complete, okay, a complete, open, new core memory bank. Now, it's not up to you, flat smackers, to put anything in their minds. Do you guys comprehend that? You guys need to stop that shit. You guys are no different than the stupid globetards. Okay? If my mind is free, and my mind no longer sees a globe in it, and my eyes are finally open to reality, I'm no longer distracted by propaganda. It's up to me, okay? It's up to me to decide what I am going to now believe in, what I am going to now base my reasoning and logic upon. Okay? It's not up to you still. Do you guys comprehend this? All you flat smackers are doing it wrong. I never told you guys to flat smack anybody. Never once. I said globe bash. What we're doing is we're taking their memes, taking their stupid CGI, taking their stupid cartoons, and putting smiley faces on it, putting silliness on it, okay? Pointing out how dumb it is, okay? At this point, I have no choice but to compare that stupid shit to flat smacking shit, all right? So this is not just going out to globetards. This is going out to flat smackers too. You guys are no different from one another. It's not up to you to tell someone what they should believe in, what they should see, what they should perceive. None of that. It's not up to you, all right? You want to share what you see? Fine. Okay? You want to share what you imagine? Even better. Okay? But it's not up to you. This is called free will. That's what this has always been about. All right? It's not up to Jesuits. It's not up to the government, and it's not up to globetards or flat smackers. Okay? It's up to the individual person to accept the truth. This has nothing to do with your feelings. Everything to do with truth, science, reality, okay, versus pseudoscience, fakery, lies, manipulation. Okay? All of you guys, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I honestly don't care. Okay, I don't care if you get upset that a globetard keeps telling you that they keep seeing a globe in their head. I don't care. That's your fault. Why are you trying to convince a globetard to imagine something else when all they can see in their mind, okay, is a fucking globe? They see heliocentric shit. It's in their core memory bank. You can't cram something new in there that doesn't make sense to them. They themselves have to become aware that the globe has always been indoctrination. It has always been brainwashing. All right? Then they are free. Okay? And all of us should have enough confidence and enough trust, okay, to know that logical sense prevails. Reasoning wins. Real-time science wins. Okay? All right, everyone? I hope I set the record straight. I know a lot of you flat earthers are probably going to be mad at me. But honestly, I didn't start this whole shit so you guys could sit there and try to impose your beliefs onto others. That's not why I started this. I started this all so everyone could be free. And so science could be something we all practice. And science could be something we all share and try to experience and try to and live off of. Like live. It's not just a practice, it's a lifestyle. All right? All right? This is about freedom. Because us Americans are losing those freedoms. Okay? Not just the Americans. Everyone that depends on that petrodollar system is losing their freedoms. All right? Like I said before, the SDG Media Compact and the Smith-Mundt Act are proof that MK Ultra and brainwashing is at its highest level ever now. Okay? There's an agenda going on. There's a war. The war for your minds, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Your human mind right now is at war with itself because we have been stopping them. We have been stopping them this whole time. All right? Ask yourselves this: when did the Mandela effect start peaking on its highest levels? Right? When did we start seeing people recognize the Mandela effect happening? Huh? That's right. After we started the flat Earth counter psyop. All right. We're literally changing reality, and if we don't hurry up and globe bash the rest of the globe heads, all right, the government is going to push this agenda, and everyone's going to lose their rights and their liberties. Reality as we know it is going to cease to exist. It's already failing. Okay, people are walking around in fantasy lands. All right, they're walking around thinking they're unicorns, thinking they can change the biology of others. Okay, that's insane and that's crazy. All right, this is beyond, the shape of the earth. Rather, this is all about the shape of your mind. What shape is your mind in? You guys even science, bro?